Dear brothers, it's about quality, not quantity.
So guys, it should be your conversation, the way you flow, your presence is enough for a woman to want to be around you, not how much money you spend.
Dear sisters, it's about knowing your value.
My sisters out there, don't be afraid to scare a guy off just because you have standards.
Dear brothers, dear sisters, it's time to come together.
Hey, welcome my people. Welcome back to DBDS Live. Listen, I'm your host, Mel Money, and this is my special co-host, Nicole. And how you doing today, my sister? How you doing?
Mel Money, I'm doing well. I just wanted to take a moment to let all of our viewers know how much we appreciate them, given the Thanksgiving holiday that just passed. Your continued love and support and involvement in the DBDS group and DBDS Live means so much. Without you guys, we wouldn't be the incredible, thriving community that we are today. 6,300 members and over 4,000 posts in the last month. That's amazing. Thank you all so much.
Man, we greatly appreciate the love that you guys bring to the table, DBDS family. Let's drop a bomb for the DBDS family. So listen, I am pretty excited about today's show. Besides watching the fight last night and watching Nick getting knocked the hell out, I'm pretty excited because the topic of what we're leading on today is to show how much you appreciate your significant other or the person you're dating who does good by you. I think sometimes we take people for granted, and I feel sometimes we have to just let them know how much we value them, how much we care. So we're going to talk about this topic because DBDS, we're never scared. We're going to come with you with those topics that other people are afraid to talk about. So with that being said, today's show is titled, Be Grateful. What you think of the topic, Nicole?
As always, this is a topic that's so important. Such a lack of gratitude in this world that should be replaced with simple appreciation.
Absolutely. Especially in today's global pandemic that's going on. We should definitely be grateful to have someone who is on our side and to push us to become a better man or a better woman. So before we pivot to our show, I just want to give a huge, besides the DBDS family, a huge special shout out to Mo with Gina. Get well, my brother. And to the whole DBDS family for rocking with us. Me and Nicole, we greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, we are about to bring our guests into the studio. And believe me, we have some experienced, dope guests.
Fire.
Absolutely. So the first one coming into the DBDS Live studio is my brother, Chris. Welcome to DBDS Live, brother.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and why you're on the show today.
On the show, just to, lend my opinion, my humble opinion from what I've learned, throughout my life and, things that I studied. My name is Chris Marshall. I'm from Sacramento, California. I am the CEO, creator of Mad Society. It's a nonprofit. And our goal is to help empower individuals through mental skill building in order to help them become the best versions of themselves. Mad Society stands for Mentally Aware and Developed Society. I feel like our mental skills are the cornerstone to any and everything that we do. And I just wanted to create something that was going to help me do things my way as far as, counseling. Our people don't like to hear counseling. So, I want to cut out the middleman and get right to the nuts and bolts. And that's the mental skill building aspect of things. So that's what the Mad Society is here for. I work a lot with student athletes, but I'm here for any and everybody. Doesn't matter if it's relationships, professional, careers, anything, you name it. Mad Society is here for you.
Man,
that's excellent.
What a great resume. I have to update my resume, by the way. But brother, this is an example of a pure leader. Great to have you on the show.
Absolutely.
And the next one I'm bringing into the DBDS Live studio is my man, Tsade, aka Shadow.
What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Nicole. He's Chris. Well, I go by many names. It's Tsade, Shadow. Call me Taj. I'm an actor, singer. Also, I'm an assistant director for a nonprofit foundation called Lemuel Mexum, and we do trust development and correcting your status. Also, I'm developing a mentorship program for young boys who are going to be men and be divine masculine men, and it's called Crowns On, Mask Off. All right. And I came here today just to lend some of my experience as an elder with a little gray in on my face, and hopefully we can come together like butt cheeks. All right. Back to you.
Love it,
Shadow,
man.
ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing wrong with that.
Man. Great to have you back on the show, brother. And again, these are two great examples of two great men and two great leaders. So appreciate you both being on the show. So
I appreciate you having us.
Absolutely. So this is a great topic for our brothers and sisters because sometimes we get complacent in our relationships, and when that occurs, it's time to do what Nicole and I call the relationship tune-up. And that means that you have to re-engage the communication aspect and express your feelings on how much your significant other means to you and why you value their companionship, especially someone who, always encourage you, even when you're at your lowest point, or someone who appreciates the small victories you made along the way to push you further to accomplish your goal in life. But before we get deep with this topic, we have a DBDS Anonymous section where people post their thoughts, their issues, and they look for us to give them some great feedback. And we're not going to tell them what they want to hear. We're going to tell them what they need to hear. So Nicole, take it away.
I'm kind of over here still giggling about the butt cheeks. I gotta bring it together. Okay. So DBDS sister says, "Hello, DBDS family. My boyfriend has the worst hygiene, very lazy, and makes some horrible messes. We've been together 6 years, and I have just about had it. I have to spearhead everything. I have to spearhead everything to get anything done. We have an old house with many maintenance issues. He doesn't try to fix anything and gets upset if I ask him to do anything. He acts so immature. He is in his early 50s and I'm 32, yet I seem to be the more mature one in our relationship, and I feel like he takes me for granted. Just today, I reminded him that he has benefit paperwork from work to take care of as the deadline is near. He told me where it was, expecting me to handle it for him. 2 days ago, my older sister passed away unexpectedly. I have not asked him to deal with anything except answer the phone. Then later on today, I said we need to clean the kitchen because we're cooking a nice meal for our family. I did the side dishes for dinner, but it was difficult because of the dirty dishes. It got to be just a bit too much. So when I kept washing things we needed, like pots and pans, I lost it. I realized no plates were clean. I washed them and he apologized, but he said he didn't want to wash the dishes. This provoked me because I feel like he could have helped me with them. I do feel he should be more understanding because I'm having a hard time dealing with my sister's death and trying to carry on like it's normal. Things get so bad, especially from his bouts of anger and yelling. I kind of fantasize about having a different type of boyfriend. Am I wrong to expect more from him?
Well, first off, my condolences and prayers goes out to you and your loved ones. I'm so sorry for the loss of your sister, and thank you so much for that letter because it does take courage to be open and to reach out. But don't worry, we have some people here with great wisdom and knowledge that can help point you in the right direction. So I'm coming to my brother Chris. What advice you have for our sister? How can we help her?
Okay. Again, condolences, first off. And I want to thank her for, reaching out to, try to get some help. I feel like when people reach out, they're at a point where they're ready for some change. And so that's definitely good. And so I just dive right into that answer to your question. Are you wrong for expecting more? In my opinion, yes. In terms of realistic expectations at this point. So for me, desiring more, totally fine. If you want more from a relationship, power to you. You should want more out of a relationship. But the expectation that you have for this individual after 6 years, that's 6 years of data. We talk about, psychology. We did a case study, 6 years, and this person has been this same person. So expecting that individual to do more, it isn't realistic. So you're wrong in that in that aspect to expect him to all of a sudden change over this amount of time, or all of a sudden change. So, and like I told you guys, I'm with dealing with the mental skill building and empowering individuals. So I can't speak to what the partner needs to do here, but for the young lady, I feel like we don't do anything unless it benefits us. So if you're still in this situation, though, you're giving us this laundry list of reasons why you're thinking about getting out, this is benefiting you somehow. And you're going to have to be honest with yourself right now and figure out what that is. How is this relationship benefiting you? Even though we're looking at that laundry list, and people, some viewers are probably like, it's not benefiting her at all. Like, what are you talking about? Even in a negative way, right? There's negative interactions, right? We like negative attention. There's some thoughts, there's some beliefs, there's something that's maintaining this relationship for her, and she's gonna have to be honest with herself about what that is. And that may be a sit down conversation with yourself. You may need to see a counselor to help dig and figure out what that is. But you've been doing it for 6 years. There's something there that's benefiting you. So that's why, in my opinion, that you're not quite ready to leave. And she says she's kind of ready. Don't let it get to the point where you're forced out. And by that, I mean, he's going to super step across that line. So you're going to really exceed your limitations. And that could be a physical thing, right? Or that could be, a very mentally abusive situation where you're finally just so tired, so done that you can't fight anymore. You're going to want to remove yourself before it gets to that point. And again, I'm coming to you because this is you reached out. I'm not going to put the blame on him for not being the type of individual you want. Somebody's going to love that man the way he is. Let them love him the way he is. You want something different. You got to figure out what's maintaining this for yourself so that you can go out and correct that. And a couple examples I just want to share quick. Like it could be something like you not wanting to start over. We hear that a lot. It could be, we noticed that there's a big age difference. Maybe there was a big deal, something that happened to start the relationship where your family was like, he's too old, and you struggled and you fought. And now you're so invested that you don't want to give it up. And also it sounds like you do a lot. So do you like feeling needed? Right? That might be the thing. Like you want him to help every now and then, but you really like doing a lot of the work. You got to be honest with yourself. Is that you? So, right now, it sounds like whatever it is that's maintaining this is a lot greater than your desire to leave it. And you got to figure out what that is that's maintaining that.
Very well said, brother. Sometimes you do have to take yourself out of the equation in order to get the relationship back on track. Sometimes it does occur. I'm coming to my brother, Tsade. What advice you have for our sister? How can we help her?
Thank you. The first thing I want to say to her is lend my condolences for the loss of a family member. And, I wish she's grace and peace. With that being said, sister, it's been 6 years. My grandmama always said there's 3 sides to the story. Your side, his side, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. So like Brother Chris said, there's something there that's keeping you. So I can't sit there and honestly say without hearing that brother's side of the story, it's all his fault. And you paint him the picture as the monster, Shrek, or whatever. Obviously, there's something about you that needs to be healed with you first. If you're fantasizing about being with another boyfriend, you've already mentally checked out. Your body's just still staying there. So I'm kind of interested in what is the setup, who's paying the rent, the mortgage, who's on the lease, all of that stuff, because that would be that would determine a whole lot what's going on here, why you feel you need to put up with that. If a person isn't caring about their cleanliness, their hygiene and stuff like that, that's a big issue. That's some sort of depression that's going on. And he definitely should seek some kind of therapy, which as we all should do in our community. There's nothing wrong with that. Here's the thing where I kind of got stuck at, and I need you to listen to this, sis. No, it's not right for you to have an expectation of anybody. But what is right is that you need a standard before you get into a relationship. Okay? you didn't establish your standard, or if you did it, you set the bar too low, and you kind of let them go. Let's look at it like this: nobody's doing anything to anybody. Everything is contractual in the universe, so we all agree to these things. You can get up and go whenever you want to leave. I don't know what your rock bottom is. It's different from everybody, person to person. Only you know what your rock bottom is. But one of the things maybe you can do is get a cleaning lady once a month. Take some of that burden off your shoulders if he doesn't want to clean. Again, if it's not a deal breaker for you, I hear you really voicing your opinion and you're complaining about it, but you got to know what your rock bottom is. So I just want to put some of them things into your mental faculties, but definitely raise your standard on what you expect from a man, not a boyfriend. At 52 years old, he should not be your boyfriend. He should be your husband. Now, you got to decide if you want a husband or not, because that is not husband material. All right? So with that, I'm going to pass it on back to you, Mel.
Ooh, very powerful, very well said. Completely agree with you. You got to have those standards in order for the relationship to prosper the way you want it to prosper. Coming to my sister, Nicole, how can we help this sister?
Well, DBDS sister, we definitely appreciate you and your courage for writing in. So thank you for that. I'd like to extend my sincerest condolences to you and your family for the loss of your sister. I can't even imagine that pain. Something that stood out in the letter to me was that, to me, you have a clear and pretty reasonable expectations. Help around the house, help me when I'm struggling. But my question is, have you expressed these things to him in the same way that you expressed in the letter? I know that as women, sometimes we like to drop hints. So thinking if our man knows us good enough, he should know what we expect of him. But the truth is, no matter how much someone knows us or loves us, they will never be able to read our minds. It's simply a setup for failure when we test our partners. It's important to establish clear and direct communication. And like both the guys said, after 6 years, that should have been something that was established in the dating period. We have to express what we like, what we dislike, and what our expectations are. At this point, you've trained him to treat you this way. He knows if he doesn't do something, you'll just take over and make sure it gets done. So my advice would be to sit down with him and have a real conversation. Be honest, but not patronizing, and be prepared to hear what he has to say and set clear expectations between the both of you. Excuse me. If his reaction is adverse or he's unwilling to compromise, you may need to consider moving on with your own life, because stagnancy is the kiss of death in any relationship.
Very well said. Thank you for that, my sister. And communication is the key. That's one thing that is needed in every relationship. And from a man's perspective, I just feel like, just going off of the letter, and again, my condolences goes out to you and your family, but the courtship continues even when you're in a relationship, and it should never end. And many brothers find it easy to get a woman and have her fall in love, but they're not able to maintain that level of love, and sometimes they don't understand why. And part of the reason why this occurs is because certain brothers, they get this complacent attitude and they think to themselves, man, I got this relationship handled, or she'll never find another man like me. Straight up, man, I got it on lock, right? And with this lazy mindset, they sit back, relax, and they get comfortable within their relationship. And in turn, this does decrease the attraction level unless their apology parallels to a changed behavior. Because I could tell within your letter, I mean, as Shadow stated, your boyfriend, which should really be your husband, does not make any adjustments, and this will further isolate you from any possible solutions to diagnose the problem. And this is why a lot of brothers and sisters fall out of love, and why you're fantasizing about other men due to these mishaps. So, of course, what you need to do is pull out that letter C from your back pocket, which means to communicate, as Nicole stated, and pay attention to how you communicate with them. Because the reality is, verbal compliments are far greater motivators than nagging words, and it should create a different set of avenues just to see where his head is at. Because, sometimes relationships are not black and white. I like to describe them like gray areas. There's so many different avenues and solutions you can come up with in those gray areas, such as counseling, seeing a therapist, seeing how he communicates verbally and non-verbally. So hopefully this can guide you in the right direction. And once again, thank you so much for your letter. Before we pivot to our show, we do have some of our viewers engaged. I'm going to come to the first person here.
So Tori says, "Hey, Coach Marshall."
Thank you, Tori.
Hey, Tori. That's what's up.
Facebook user.
That's Carrie. She says, "Hello."
Oh, hello, Carrie. Next one right here.
Carrie also says, "Preach, brother." Or brothers.
Right.
And one more comment here.
And this is Carrie again. She says, "Unspoken contracts. We teach people how to treat us from what we allow. Standards and boundaries in the beginning are definitely necessary."
Absolutely.
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 Drop a bomb for our Facebook followers. Appreciate that. So again, thank you for your letter, and I hope our advice guides you in the right direction. So now it is time to pivot to our first topic of the show. And just after the holiday and filling our stomachs up, man, we're going to talk about to be grateful in our relationship. And the first subtopic at hand that we're going to touch on is appreciate her natural feminine essence. Man, you see this sister right here, she is nurturing on this brother. She is just like, I love me some him. I love me some him. So let me size this up right here. So, brothers, when the weight of the world is on your shoulders and you get discouraged at times, it's a plus. Trust me, it's a plus to have a woman who is nurturing and one who's your peace and one who is your emotional supporter. I'm telling you, brothers, never lose sight that the right woman can make you into a better man, and you better appreciate her. So I'm coming to my brother Chris. Chris, what are your thoughts on this particular topic?
New nickname, Quiz.
At least it's not marshmallow like the kids used to call me substituting all the time. They always, no one wants to call you by your name. It's you're the new guy. So it's talking to the young men out there. If you want a woman that's nurturing and you have a woman that is nurturing, you have to make sure that you don't abuse the nurturing. You guys got me on that. Don't take it for granted. Just, understand that, she's always going to be there. She's always going to pick me up. She's always going to take it growing up, we weren't really taught to express ourselves in a healthy manner as, black men. Right. So it comes out in, negative language. It comes out in, fighting and arguing, and we just expect people to take it. One, we got to make sure that we're doing everything we can to learn how to better communicate, grow, heal, so that we can also appreciate the nurture that we're going to get from, your partner. And you have to find out, again, how to communicate to your partner that you're grateful for her being there for you, that you're grateful for the presence that she is when you're down to help pick you up. But she can't just be a punching bag. Yeah, you got me on that. Just to someone you can go let out your frustration on time after time after time. First of all, never a punching bag. Right? Just should not be a punching bag, verbally or physically. But make sure that you're taking the time to learn your partner, talk to your partner, communicate with your partner, so you can know how you can communicate how grateful you are. Because I know that's been a issue for me at times where, like, my communication style or my love language isn't communicated properly to someone that I'm talking to. And so we have this disconnect. And I know they need to receive it a certain way. I need to learn that way. And I want them to learn how I am going to, show my gratefulness as well. But definitely, as much as possible, let your partner know how grateful you are for them and the things that they're doing to help continue to uplift you, especially if you're looking for a true nurturing woman who's going to be that rock, be solid for you, and be there to help lift you up in those situations, you can't abuse that, right? We do, but we can't no longer. Like, if you're seeing this, you're hearing this, you have no excuse now. Stop it. If you need help, hit me up. We got mad skills all day for you.
Man, love it, brother. Whew, I'm gonna have to drop a bomb on that.
Yes, please.
Here's the things, my brothers out there, man. When you have that right woman and she's your best friend, trust me, man, she's gonna be there through the thick and thin with you. So appreciate her, man. Don't just be like, hey, I'm gonna go out with Tyrone. Don't put Tyrone for your woman. Listen,
then she's gonna make you call Tyrone to come get your
yeah.
Yeah. I'm coming to my brother Tsade, aka Shadow. What are your thoughts on this particular topic? I'm just gonna say Shadow, man.
I love it. All right.
Shadow.
Kings, brother Kings. We have to be so intentional at this time, because your words go out there and they won't come back to you void. So before you actually pick up and deal with somebody else in your life, especially if you're seeking a wife, I'm going to keep it as a wife, because this boyfriend girlfriend thing, it played out. We too old for that. We too grown. All right. What you want in a feminine woman and her qualities should be as such: intuition, nurturing, a healer, gentle, expressive, wise, patient, emotional, and flexible. Write those things down. Put it into the atmosphere. And if you pray or if you meditate or whatever, be seeking those things first. But you got to line up on the opposite side of that. You have to be logical, reasonable. You got to be action oriented. You got to be firm. You got to have survival skills, loyal, adventurous, rational, and strength. You need to be her polar opposite. Okay? So you got to work on yourself first. If you're in your divine masculine, she can't help but come to you in her feminine, her divine feminine. So once that woman comes and she has all those qualities, you better make damn sure that you treat that woman right and respect her. And you don't ever have to beat your fist on your chest announcing you're the king, because she will do it for you. She will let the whole world know how special you are. All right? And with that, I'm out.
Ooh, fire.
Man, brothers are dropping some nuggets today, man. I'm coming to my DBDS sister, Nicole.
Pass. I pass. No.
That's an option.
I can't go after these two. Oh my goodness gracious. Sorry, no.
It's all good.
So, I know that femininity is something that comes natural for women, right? However, in the world, it's not so easy to maintain. It's not always easy to switch back and forth. I'll use myself as an example. In my career, I work with a majority of men. It is critical that I be strong, decisive, and somewhat aggressive. I would not succeed in my position being sensitive and gentle every day. I would be eaten alive, so to speak. So when a woman takes off her work hat and puts her feminine essence back into play, it's really important to pay attention. She may have stayed up late to pack your lunch, or wore those sexy panties that you like to bed, or even rubbed your feet after a long day, even though that she was tired. These things may seem simple and mundane, but to us as women, it's a big deal to show you in a million little ways that we love you. I don't really think that grand gestures are really a woman's style. So when you notice and appreciate the small things, we desire to do those things even more. Plus, appreciation is just sexy. That just is what it is.
Ooh, man, you know what? You got that song in my head by Destiny's Child. It's called "Let Me Cater to You."
Cater to you, yes.
Song, right? Yes. So before I even piggyback on what I'm going to say after Nicole, we have some quick comments here from our viewers here. First one.
Carrie, okay, first of all, when are you coming on the show next?
Yeah.
He said, stay back.
Another user here.
I believe that's, sorry, Jamila says, Tsade, fire. Yes, 1 minute.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, baby. Thank you.
Okay, go down. Next comment.
And Daly says, you got this, Nicole. Thank you.
Yes.
It's a whole lot of testosterone. I'm trying to hold my own here.
So, just to piggyback off Nicole, I mean, masculine is giving what feminine is to receiving. And being receptive is part of attracting us to what we deserve. So when you have the right woman by your side, she will only push you beyond your limits. Listen, especially if you're the kind of brother that's productive and precise to your vision to push you even closer to your goal. And a sister who is nurturing enough, you know, to recharge your battery is one who communicates that she's supportive and respects your dreams and aspirations. And this is where you have to show your queen that you value everything about her. Because every good man deserves to be with a highly supportive woman, just as every good woman deserves to be with a man whom she can encourage and support with sincere enthusiasm. And, you know, trust me, in the long, our journey, sometimes as men, sometimes we feel low when we fell at something. But one thing about a sister who understands and embraces her natural feminine essence is one that can, you know, tame that inner beast, and one can that can diffuse that discouraging attitude, which may even encourage you to go to the next level. And that's one thing that good sisters crave. They crave appreciation, because the more you appreciate your woman, the more she feels good about herself. And the better she feels about herself, the more nurturing she'll be. And the more nurtured she'll be, that'll give her the ability to love you more, to romance you, and to make you into a better man. So definitely never take her for granted. And you make sure you return that back to her, okay? So now, it is time to pivot to our next topic. The next one we're going to, actually, before we go to our next topic, we have a comment. This is a good one right here. We got to put this up here.
Okay, so Tori says, off topic and long question. That's okay, girl. That's what we're here for. What do you do when you got a guy who refuses to leave you alone? Known him since high school. I'm 29 now. And he proposed once, but there are too many bad things that have happened over the years that I can't let go of.
Okay, that's a really good question, Tori.
Coach Chris, I think you should answer that one.
Oh, man. Hey, we could have talked about this tomorrow.
No pressure.
We'll give you a little brief response, and we'll continue with the show. But we'll go ahead.
Well, young Tori, it seems clear that there's too many things for you to go backwards. So like we were talking about earlier, setting standards. Just be clear with your communication and set that boundary, set that limit, and let them know like you're not interested or you're not available in the way that he's asking at this time, or it doesn't seem like in the future at all either. If he keeps bothering you, I mean, we live in the same city. We can have a conversation if you want me to have a conversation with the young man. Sorry. I know I invited you, Tori.
Big brother Chris.
Hey, well, we appreciate you, and we'll get a quick response from my brother Shadow. Any quick note before we continue with our show?
Yes, sister. 2 words: restrain and order. If he's on your social media platform, block him. Block him. Change your number. Do all of those things. And if he shows up to your home, again, 2 words: restrain and order. The ball's literally in your court right now. So that can lead to something that could be kind of stalkerish. And a person that won't take no could be a very dangerous person. So be careful, utilize your big brother Chris, and just block him from everything.
Very well said. Appreciate that. Thank you for the quick response, my brothers. When Nicole and I call that, we call that the rules of disengagement. So that means, like you stated, block them. Even if my man got a damn fax machine, block them. You know, block them. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and
Those
continue.
are 80s babies. I don't think they have fax machines.
Wonder Woman.
Absolutely. And we're going to pull up one more comment. We'll continue with the show. Thank you, my peoples, for tuning in.
So Daly says, I would be clear to him that you're not interested anymore. And if he doesn't leave you alone, that's harassment. Get a restraining order, like Tsade said.
All right. And one more from Tori after she's with
Tori, message received. Blocked on all levels.
Okay, Tori.
You were quick.
May I add something?
She is a quick study.
Go ahead.
So, Tori, and all of this advice is good advice, but I do want to point out that you want to make sure that you're not giving him any hope. So that's what the benefit is, cutting off all communication, is so that you're not feeling bad for him or feeling sorry, because if he sees a way in, he's going to take it. So change up your schedule as much as you're changing up your phone number. Change your daily tasks so he doesn't know where you're at or what you're doing as well.
Very well said. Rules of disengagement. Appreciate that. Let's drop a bomb for Tori. Appreciate you tuning in. So, the next subtopic, we're going to get back on the show. So the next subtopic that we're going to talk about right now is appreciate his natural masculine core. Man, beautiful picture. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go ahead and size this up. Listen, a team can't win if everyone is in the same position. Because truthfully, we were created to balance each other. So my classy sisters, if you have a man who is a leader, a provider, a protector, one who has high integrity, then trust me, you have yourself a keeper. So when you acknowledge these qualities about your man, it shows that you are trusting and you're comfortable within your position to make him into a better man, which creates more balance within a relationship. So I'm coming to my sister, Nicole. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
So before we can appreciate something, we must first understand what it is. So how do we define masculinity? By definition, masculinity refers to having qualities traditionally ascribed to men, such as strengths and boldness. When we celebrate masculinity, we're celebrating the good traits. You know, people talk about toxic masculinity, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about traits as confidence, leadership, courage, and strength. So I view masculinity and femininity as yin and yang, two equal yet different parts that perfectly fit together. It's all about balance and complementing each other, not overcompensating for what we think the other lacks, like the sister in the anonymous letter. Well, he's not going to do it, so I'll just take over and do it too. Ladies, we must let a man be a man. Men are naturally providers and protectors. It's just as important for men to feel needed as we need to feel understood. Embrace his qualities. Let him take out the trash. Let him check the house and make sure it's safe. Stay your ass in bed and wait for the clear. Let him know that you appreciate him. And most importantly, take care of his sexual needs. Don't view sex with him as a task or something that you have to do. View it as a great privilege to be the one to please him. Initiate sex often and make his needs a priority as well. The more womanly you are with him, the more manly he'll be with you.
Man. Very powerfully stated. Thank you, my sister. And listen, if there's someone breaking into your house late at night, or if you hear something downstairs, sisters, don't be the ones to go down there and try to handle business. Let that man do that. He's your protector, okay? I'm coming to my brother Shadow. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
Sisters, when you find a man that is in his complete divine masculinity, it is a gift of awakening. Learn to appreciate that. This is a man who has found his purpose, and in this world, he's here to be of service, and he's looking for something to do, and he's found it. You can add to that by supporting him. Sisters, you got to realize when he's in his divine masculine, what he wants to do is he wants to spend his time empowering people. And when you empower somebody, you actually give them life. Okay? So what you can do is ask him, what does he need? Kindness, patience, and your encouragement. Because a woman's tongue can either cut our knees, cut our throat, or it can build us up and make us believe that we are Superman.
Mm.
So that's it.
Man. Yes, my sister. Be his Lois Lane. Don't be his kryptonite. Don't be his kryptonite. I'm coming to my brother Chris. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
Oh man, I gotta piggyback my man Shadow right there. Like, if you say you want a certain thing, then you gotta let that person be that person. If they're not, then again, maybe you find a different situation. But definitely want to help uplift and not attack. I feel like sometimes we talk about a man being masculine and he should be the leader and he should be strong. In some instances, some young ladies will attack and they're like, well, you should be a man, you should be able to take it. And that's the exact opposite. That's actually just going to drain. So again, there's no yin and yang. You're not building up. Like if I'm going out and I'm going to work and I'm dealing, like my job, dealing with, teenage boys, I'm getting mother effed all night long. Oh. I'm not trying to come home and then get mother effed at home just so that you can say, look, I got a strong man. He can take all this. Like, nah, like I don't want that. Like, that's not what it means for me to be strong, that I can just take any bull that you got coming. So again, be the lowest lane, as my man Shadow was saying. Be there to help uplift that individual because he's being strong outside the home, hopefully, doing what he's got to do to take care of, the house and take care of you and the family. So within the home, again, we should be building each other up, both sides. Again, it's on yin and yang. Like, we're going to deal with enough stuff outside in the world on a daily basis. So again, if you're saying that, hey, I want a man that's X, Y, and Z, then let that man be X, Y, and Z. Don't try to, what's the word? Like, manipulate the situation so that you can prove that man is a strong man in the ways that make sense to you. Again, for those people who are engaged in those type of situations, it's probably unhealthy relationship to begin with. But that's a little more 2 cents on that.
And everything you described, Chris, that's not a nurturing woman. If she catechizing the brother when he's coming home, that's actually counterproductive in a relationship. So I'm just going to piggyback off of Chris because, us men, we adore when a woman appreciate our masculine qualities. And as Nicole stated, masculine qualities, positive, not toxic, of course. And when I say masculine, I'm not referring to the social constructs or cultural stereotypes, because as I mentioned before, those that are naturally masculine may be the ones that I'll say are in control of things, but those that are naturally feminine are the ones that are in charge of things. And when you have a good woman, she's going to charge your back. She's going to be the one that's going to be your inspiration to your actions. That's how she inspires you to go ahead and propel you to the next level. Because, and understand that, being in charge and being in control, it works hand in hand. It's almost as if there's a heavy table that your ass got to pick up, you won't be able to pick it up with one hand, but your helpmate, that right woman, is going to help you pick up that table, both hands, right? So my thing is to my sisters, acknowledge his qualities about him and appreciate his creative output, because we are naturally hardwired to go above and beyond when a woman appreciates our efforts to make the relationship more fulfilling. Okay, my people. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. But before we do so, man, this comment right here, Alicia Smith. Okay. Alicia Smith.
Alicia, I guess she's tagging somebody in the, I don't know.
Okay. We'll go to this comment.
Like, Alicia, where are you at?
I know, Alicia.
Come on, Alicia.
So we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. This is DBDS Live. Sit tight.
Are you single? Do you know about DBDSsingles.com? Are you ready to meet a quality man or classy woman? The DBDS brothers want you to know that love and loyalty still exists. So if you're ready to meet relationship-ready people, sign up today at DBDSsingles.com. Let's make love and loyalty dope again.
Are you single? Do you know about DBDSsingles.com? Are you ready to meet a quality man or a classy woman? The DBDS brothers want you to know that love and loyalty still exists. So if you're ready to meet relationship-ready people, sign up for a free trial. DBDSsingles.com, where quality men meet classy women.
Hey, welcome back to DBDS Live. I'm here with my brother Chris, my brother Shadow, and my DBDS sister Nicole, and we've been talking about be grateful. And before we dive into our next topics, you wanted something else to add, Shadow?
I just wanted to piggyback on what Chris was saying about the women, testing. Brothers, you got to understand, all women test. It's called fecal testing, for better words. They're going. It's a part of their makeup. They are going to do it. Stand on your square. Be strong. They push your buttons because they got to see if you really built for all of this. So don't really get upset about it. It's your responsibility as the king to see right past that and hear what she's saying in the spirit realm instead of her words. Hear her heart. So that's it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And that is absolutely true. Subconsciously, women do test you just to see what kind of man you are. They're not just going to take some guy say, I'm the man, and then he doesn't prove his worth.
Right.
You want to make sure you are the man who you say you are. So listen, I'm going to give some shout outs to some people watching and tune up the show. Shout out to Janelle, Wanda, Leah Rodriguez, Jasmine, Kirby, Melissa Elizabeth, thank you for watching. Alicia Nicole, Rosa Gomez, my wife April, thank you for watching, baby. Thank you for watching. Jeff Roderick, Tarir, Yamala, my boy Maurice Peacock, Julie River, of course, Carrie, Natasha, Toya, Shayna, Chantel Morris. Listen, if I'm mispronouncing your names, I apologize for that. Brittany, Michelle, Jamila, so many names to mention. Thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate the love. So we're going to go ahead and talk about our the next topic on the show. And the next one that we're going to discuss on hand, which is extremely important, is going above and beyond. Man, it looks like everything is just black out and it just focusing on themselves, right? So we're going to touch on this topic right here. So when your significant other or the person you're dating share their happiness with you and displays a creative output to show you how much they value you, then make sure you reciprocate and you'll see how much the attraction level will increase between you two. So I'm coming to my brother Chris. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
Going above and beyond. Where my mind goes with that is, just when you're talking to somebody, getting to know somebody, or whether or not you've been in a relationship for a long time, just continue to do more than the minimum. Like we've been talking about, the masculine and feminine traits, or what your expectations are of, the relationships, and, setting the standard. Like what's the bare minimum, right? That's enough to kind of get you in the door, but make sure that, you go above and beyond. For me, I'm going to go above and beyond. I'm going to do the little things. I'm going to do the big things because it's in my nature and it's what I do. And I feel like for me, it's on me to protect myself as far as being able to have the mental toughness to bounce back. I see so many people that are just giving little crumbs because they're scared of getting hurt, or they're like, well, I'm not getting it reciprocated back. Well, I mean, if we all have that idea, then we're all eating breadcrumbs and no one's ever growing. So if if you found someone and their presence makes you happy, like again, they don't make you happy, but you know, being in their presence makes you happy. The things that they do, their character, you like being in their presence. Go above and beyond, you know, than what is expected of us, right? We have these expectations of what we should do. You know, I call you out the blue. You hungry? You want something to eat? I know women, y'all like to eat. Yeah, you good? You know, I'll just call and see. I'll just call and see how you was doing. You know, making sure you was good. Right? Yeah, you know, need some extra. You want to go do something, like again, it doesn't have to be, you know, on schedule with. Like, and let people love schedules, and they're good, right? Because we got these measuring sticks, but it's like, man, I want to know you in your complete nature, so I'm going to go above and beyond, like what you feel like. I guess the call of duty is to, when you're starting relationships or when you're in relationships, it's always going to be. That's just, I guess that'd be my standard, so it wouldn't even be above and beyond, but. Definitely, I encourage everyone to start doing that. I've been talking to a few people about that lately, and it's hard to get to know people because we're so restrictive with letting people in and letting people get to know us. I encourage people to just go above and beyond, letting people know what they mean to you. And again, especially, you know, pandemic. Nobody saw the pandemic coming, and you know, we're losing people left and right. So I don't got time to be playing around and playing games. If I like you, I like you, and I'm going to do what I feel like, you know, doing. And that's going to, you know, be above and beyond more often than not.
Well said, brother. Appreciate it. Powerful. Appreciate that feedback, brother. Coming to my brother Shadow. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
Going above and beyond. That means taking responsibility. Sister, whoever you are, it is never your responsibility to make me happy. I'm going to bring my own happiness. I'm not going to put that on your shoulders because you already got enough troubles of the world on your shoulders. Women got hips. They were made for nurturing and loving and having babies and all stuff like that. Men have the broad shoulders. See that? We're the ones supposed to take on all of the pressures. So it's not your responsibility to make me happy. I got to come with my own happiness. Second point is being thoughtful and being spontaneous. You know, do all the little silly stuff that you did in the beginning. You know, leave the post-it, little sticky notes. Tell her she cute. Baby, I want to get with you later on. All of that little silly stuff. It never gets old. It never gets old to be spontaneous.
Facts.
Lastly, and it should be at the top of the list, I'm not going, just like Chris said, I'm not going into no relationship, especially with the sign of the times that is now, thinking about what could go wrong, thinking about my guard is up and she gonna be this and be that. Nah, man, I'm going in with my heart wide open and being intentional about exactly what I want and what I'm going to do and being transparent.
Well said. And here's the thing: when you're flexible, that allows you to be open, so that person can get more of who you are. So that way, they know what they can do to go above and beyond. They know your likes, dislikes, and so forth. Coming to my sister Nicole, what are your thoughts on this particular topic?
So, going above and beyond is essentially exceeding your partner's expectations. In order to do that, you got to be paying attention, right? And to me, that's the most incredible thing is paying attention. Now, that doesn't always mean spending a ton of money or doing something extravagant, but sometimes, like the guy said, it's the simplistic efforts that mean the most. Men, clean the kitchen while she's at work. Have a hot bath ready when she gets home. Simple and free for the most part, except for time. Ladies, turn on ESPN. You can Google what channel that is because you know we don't know what channel that comes on. Turn the kids down low and give them a full body massage after a long day at work and let them watch the highlights. Like, that is simple stuff that costs us what I feel like is the most important thing, time. Put that time and effort in. That's amazing. The importance of putting in the extra efforts means that your partner cares about you and wants you to be happy. As I stated before, stagnancy in any relationship is the kiss of death. Going above and beyond is the sign of a person who is investing in their relationship. For someone to go out of their way just to see you smile may be a selfless act, but trust me, it is mutually beneficial.
Ooh. And pay attention, my people. When you do those little things, that has more value than money any day of the week. Trust me, because you're creating memories, and memories are timeless. My thing is, from a man's perspective, it's a huge green flag when you have a proactive lover, or one who understands the needs and desires of your significant other, and then goes above and beyond, as Nicole stated, to assure that these needs and desires are met. And and furthermore, if you want to escalate your relationship with that special brother, just from a man's perspective, on a more emotional level, then you have to master the art of being a proactive lover. For example, make sure you value the quality time you spend with him. When I say quality time, it simply means that the brother's not competing with your cell phone, or with your laptop. Another example to go above and beyond. Let's say your man loves watching wrestling, but you find it to be fake. I mean, which it is, but truly you can't get into it, which is quite understandable. But it's critical that you understand your man's passions for sports entertainment and do what's necessary to support his interests. For instance, make sure he doesn't miss a show of SmackDown, or, buy the brother a virtual ticket to see his favorite wrestler like The Undertaker or something, or, even serve his friends some food while he's watching the wrestling match. These are just simple examples of going above and beyond. So just make sure the more you do that, the more that right man is going to go ahead and reciprocate the same energy to escalate the relationship to a further degree. All right. So we have some viewers here. And we got one right here.
So this is Jamila. She says, what if he doesn't do, like going above and beyond? For example, a person has to continuously say the same thing over and over. Example, what we like and sex, spontaneous, etc. When is the time to walk away? 5 to 20 years invested.
Ah, man. You know what? I'm going to come. We'll do the show's almost, we're almost out of time. We're going to be quick, but I'll come to my brother Shadow if you want to tackle that topic for the system.
Therapy, counseling. First of all, go to counseling for yourself to discover why you keep taking that kind of treatment. Again, I'll always stand on this. Nobody's doing anything to anybody. Everything is based on the contract, either verbal or written. You got to find out what is it about in you that you keep allowing that kind of treatment. So I would suggest you go to therapy. There's no shame in that. You get yourself together first, because whatever you become, you're going to attract it. So work on you being a full, divine, feminine woman who deserves love.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Chris, any comments you want to add?
Man, I'm just piggyback on Shadow, man. That's perfect. You got to figure out, for yourself with the counseling, and then possibly couples counseling. But again, it depends on how long this stuff has been going on. Like if you had a certain contract with that individual, and this was the setup, and like it happens, we grow differently, and maybe you've grown in this direction, and hey, you know what? I like this now, and that person doesn't, and then hopefully you can come together, communicate about it, and find a mutual way to settle it. If not, do get some professional help to try to help you guys settle that.
Very well said. So we're gonna go ahead and before we get going, we just got one last thing I just want to state as the two brothers just dropped. Just make sure that you love yourself. You have to look inward. You got to know your rules of engagement. You got to have your moral codes, your values, and everything like that. Once you know who you are, that will have you push the relationship to the next level, whether if you're going in the negative direction or positive direction. And my sister Nicole, any comments you want to add?
Well, I'll keep it short and sweet, and I'm all about accountability. So my question is, if you're saying something over and over and over to someone, they're clearly not receiving it. How are you presenting it? Because as much as we hate to hear it, women, when we nag, when it comes off as nagging or bitching and complaining, men turn us off and down. They don't want to hear. So a lot of our issues are in our approach. So yeah, definitely get therapy, get counseling. And if it continues this way, or if you're with someone that is unwilling to compromise, it's not going anywhere. You know when it's time. I hate to hear women say, I don't know when I need to leave. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do that. Yes, you do. You know when you're core. And if you don't, pray about it, because God has been probably trying to tell you the answer, but we're being stubborn doing what we want to do instead of what we're moved to do. So pay attention, listen, pray, and look at yourself in the mirror and figure out what you could be doing better as well.
Thank you, sister. And one thing that you sisters have is the intuition. The intuition. Go ahead, Shadow. You want to say one last thing before we get going?
Yeah, one last thing. Thank you, guys. I want to address the brothers. Brothers, as we come into our divine masculinity, keep this in your heart every day. Move from the love of power to the power of love.
Sound like some lyrics from Luther Vandross.
Woo, woo, woo.
All right. So with that being said, we're going to take one last break. That's right. It's time for our Jerry Springer moment. So sit tight. We'll be back. This is DBDS Live. Stay tight, brothers and sisters.
If you would like to learn how to establish and maintain long-term meaningful relationships, join DBDS University today. You will learn about interpersonal relationships, first date tips, the relationship zones, emotional intelligence, and more.
I want to say thank you to my big brothers, Mel and Mo, for creating the DBDS University with the live, the book, the website. It's helped me so much grow as an individual.
All right, welcome back, my peoples. Welcome back to DBDS Live. I'm here with my brother Chris, my brother Shadow, and my sister, the beautiful Nicole. And it's been nothing but wisdom and knowledge from this panel. And if you missed this show, don't worry. It will be on heavy rotation throughout the week. So now it's about that time to share our final thoughts to the show. So I'm coming to my brother Chris. What are your final thoughts to the people out there?
Final thoughts to the people. There's a lot of power in communicating how grateful and how appreciative you are to others. Not just when we're talking about romantic relationships, just in life in general, in any kind of relationship, being able to communicate to others what they mean to you is extremely important. You know, if just seeing a stranger and saying hello can, brighten up their day just a little bit. And imagine what you could do if you were genuinely appreciative of more individuals and let them know on a daily basis exactly what they meant to you. And then bring it back to, your significant other, how much growth and how wonderful that relationship could be if, again, you just take the time to make sure that you never take the situation for granted. And I get it, it happens. That's why I advocate for you to, take some time, use some mindfulness, clear your mind every day, and just like my Uncle Kevin said, man, wake up every morning and find one thing that you're grateful for. Right. Just begin. If you begin every day that way and you have a significant other and that is part of your daily routine, I guarantee you it minimize the chances that you're going to take that individual for granted, because that's something that's part of your routine to wake up and say, you know what, I'm grateful for this situation. I'm grateful for my partner. And, that's you setting the tone for the day. Yeah, man, that's my spew for the day.
Excellent.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. I'm coming to my brother Shadow. What are your final thoughts for today's show?
My final thoughts are, let's try to tune our hearts into being a giver instead of coming out here and seeing what we can get. It's my heart's desire to be the plug for love. Okay. So that means as you're being the plug, you are the supplier from the Most High. So when you're always giving and it's flowing through the Most High, who could ever take anything from something that's so unlimited as the Most High God and the creator of all things? So if it would happen to break up or depart or whatever, all we can ever do is just leave people better than when we found them. That's it.
Definitely.
Very well said, Brad. Appreciate that. And now I'm coming to my DBDS sister. What are your final thoughts for today's show? Fire show, by the way.
Yes. Before giving my closing thoughts, I want to thank this amazing panel. Shadow, thank you so much for returning to the show and sharing your infinite wisdom. Chris, thank you for making your first appearance and giving us your very wise and unique perspective. We definitely hope to see you back on the show soon. So, to all my DBDS brothers and sisters, it's so easy to fall into the ways of the current world that we live in. Instant gratification, expecting everything our way, and replacing things instead of fixing them is the new norm. But when you focus on being grateful for the blessings that you have, showing appreciation for those blessings, and constantly working towards becoming a better version of yourself, it is a reward that nobody can take from you. And with that being said, always love yourself first, and the right one will find you.
Very well said, my sister. And listen, I just want to take this time to thank this amazing panel for sharing their wisdom. Shadow, Chris, you guys are pure examples of great brothers, great leaders, and I think it's dope. It's a brotherhood. Appreciate you guys coming on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you having me out.
Appreciate you both.
Absolutely.
Likewise.
So I just want to finish off and state that when you have a great man or a great woman by your side, make sure you show them more appreciation for their strengths rather than chastising them for their shortcomings, which will have a much greater and more positive effect on your relationship in the long run. Being grateful not only shows that you value your significant other, but it also shows that you care and you respect the relationship to the fullest extent.
Yo, Bell Money, send us off.
Hi.
Bye.